I will put Hades in A tier. Why? Because Hades is solid damage dealer throughout the entire game, and Hades can also be used in KPR as a KPR carry. Now, of course, Hades is overshadowed by units in each of these categories, right? Although Hades has good damage throughout the game, you can probably find cheaper, better units or just objectively stronger units at max level throughout the entire game, right? Amaterasu is an example of Hades being replaced in KPR. However, Hades is a consistent, solid damage dealer. I used to put Hades in B tier a lot. However, I understand that not everyone can really access all the mythic rotations at once, and it's realistic that in many situations you won't have something like an Amaterasu, but you will have something like a Hades, and Hades is a pretty solid KPR carry, although KPR evolutions haven't came out, so it doesn't matter too much. But Hades is a pretty good unit, right? Zeus now goes in A tier. I understand that a certain unit, which I'll get to later, is able to turn your units into cosmics, and that kind of takes away some of the value of the elemental specific carries. However, Zeus is still very prevalent as an IQT carry if you do not have access to the Lovecraftian pantheon and you are just looking to find a solid unit to clear IQT. You can kind of go back to some of those IQT setups developed before the cosmic update, and then Zeus is a very good carry there. Zeus also has really strong utility, as Zeus can stun enemies with his basic attacks, and it combos very nicely with slows from a unit such as Jiraiya or a unit such as Sluggy. Pretty good for stalling out units. So Zeus has value both as a staller and as a damage dealer, although overshadowed, still very strong. All right, Poseidon here is going to go in D tier for me. The general issue with Poseidon is that Poseidon effectively has no use, right? Poseidon is this water unit, but you don't really need, like, okay, let me put it this way, right? Although Poseidon is a water unit, Poseidon's not really that good of a water unit, right? So you can't really use Poseidon as a volcano goddess carry because Poseidon's just not that strong, and Poseidon really serves no other use. The damage is just not there, the ability pattern is not there, and there's no significant ability, right? A very small water damage buff is not really enough to carry Poseidon out of D tier. So that's where Poseidon is.